What's up, guys? Welcome back to Goshen's Games. I am Goshen, and today we are reviewing Radiant Historia. Radiant Historia, guys, if you have never played this game before, it's on the DS. They have a remake coming for the 3DS. This is possibly one of the best games I've played on the DS. It's really hard to find anything really wrong with this game. That's why I said, like, if you have not played this game before, you need to go and find a copy and buy it. Like, seriously, guys. Or you can wait for the remake to come out. Either way, you need to play this game if you have a DS. Especially if you're a role-playing game fanatic, if you love RPGs like I do. This is definitely, even before I actually get into a review, I'm telling you, you need to play this game. Those of you who are not familiar with the team behind Radiant Stories, which was a fantastic PS2 game, by the way, it's the same team who developed that game, for those of you who are familiar with it, that made this game. Basically, this game is kind of like a Chrono Trigger type of game, where you constantly go back and forth between the past and the present, and you need to, the game follows the character named Stock. He's the main character, and they're in the middle of this war, and the war that's going on is basically it's a war for the land, because the land is dying. The land is turning completely to sand, and nobody can figure out why it's doing that. So Stock, he goes on a mission that goes really bad, and he basically, they die. But Stock gets rescued, so to speak, by these two unknown children who give him the power of what's called the White Chronicle. Now, the White Chronicle has the ability to give its user the ability to time travel. So Stock then can go back in time. This is Stock, by the way. This guy right there, that's Stock. Stock now has the ability to go back in time and fix his past mistakes. And the reason why they give him that ability is because they already know what's coming in the future. They know it's the end of the world, and they want to fix that. They want to fix it and put everybody on the true path. Okay, the true history, so to speak, is what they call it. And so Stock is in charge of doing that. So in order to do that, what happens is, because of that mission that failed, you constantly go back in time between now two alternate realities. And in order to make the true history happen, you have to make those two realities, those two different alternate realities. Is it two or three? I think it's actually three realities. You have one timeline, and then it splits off, and so anyways, I have to go back and just double check that. But anyways, so you have different realities, and in different realities the characters do different things, but you need to travel between the realities in order to progress in each respective timeline reality. Because some characters might reveal certain things about themselves in one reality, and then you go into the other one and you're able to progress further in that one, because now you have an item that you were able to get over here, or information that you were able to get in timeline A. Let's call it A and B. So in timeline A, you were able to get information or items that you can now use in timeline B to progress further in timeline B, and vice versa. So you get items and information in timeline B that you can use in timeline A. On top of that, there's little side missions that you can do that divert from those timelines, time A and time B. There's multiple endings in this game, and the thing is that if you fail a mission, if you fail on either path and you do something wrong, it ends the game. It takes you to an alternate reality, so an alternate. So so you have timeline A, so you'll have timeline A1. So that alternate now is an ending that you just reached, which is like, it's really cool that they did that. I mean, you reach that ending and it's not a good ending. That's not the true ending, and they'll tell you that's not the true history. So then the twins will then put you back in the White Chronicle. They'll bring you back, and they'll tell you that you need to fix your mistake. You need to go back and fix your misstep in the timeline. And then they'll tell you, perhaps visiting the other timeline will help you to progress in timeline A or whatever. So then the other thing that's interesting is, like, you have the different characters going through each timeline, right? So in one timeline, a character might die. In another timeline, he's alive, or he or she, they're alive and they progress further with you. In one timeline, a certain character might despise you and won't help you at all, but in the other timeline, they will. So it's really cool the way that they make you interact with the different realities, and they play a huge they play a big theme between the multiple timeline or multiverse theory with the timelines. So like I said, it's really hard to find anything really wrong with this game. If I was gonna point out one thing, it's a difficult game. The battle system is not the easiest. I mean, you can get used to it. It's like in a grid pattern, like a turn-based kind of tactics kind of battle system. So it's not the easiest battle system to use, but it's still a very, very well thought out battle system. So if you play and you get used to the battle system, which it doesn't take you long to get used to the battle system, you find different strategies on how to implement the grid to your own advantage. So that's why I said it's kind of hard to find something wrong with the game when there's really not. The game is very, very well written. The dialogue is well written. The story, the gameplay, everything about it is very, very good. And it really pays tribute to old school RPGs with the sprites, the way that everything is in this game. It's very old schoolish. So definitely pick this game up if you've never played it before. If you can't, I have the collector's edition. If you can't pick up the collector's edition, I don't expect you guys to spend the $60 to $80 that this collector's edition now costs. But for sure, you could pick up the game for like 20 something bucks on eBay or Amazon. Guys, like, if you love RPGs and you've never played this game before, this is definitely one to play. Like, the story it'll stick with you. The characters will stick with you. I mean, everything about this game just like feels right. To be honest, I haven't beaten it yet. I got stuck because the combat, like I said, the combat's hard. So you have to grind, and I didn't grind. And the other thing to keep in mind as well is the stronger you become, the stronger the enemies become. So it still gives you that high difficulty. The difficulty curve in this game is really up there. I mean, that's usually how Atlas games are. Atlas. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there it is. If you've never played any Atlas games, you're not familiar with them. Atlas, they are the parent company or the development company that they do Shin Megami Tensei games, which Shin Megami Tensei has a reputation for being very hard games to beat. The Etrian Odyssey games, which are very hard as well to beat. Those are dungeon crawlers. So if you're not familiar with Atlas, that's the type of games that they do. So true to their history, Radiant Historia. True to Atlas's history, this game is a difficult game. But it's worth the money. It's worth playing through it. It's really, honestly, the best Nintendo DS game I've played. And I've played a lot of games. I played World Ends With You. I played this one. I played the Shin Megami games. There's a ton of games on the DS. The DS, in general, is a good system, very good system. There's a lot of RPGs on it, a lot of games, a lot of really good games on the DS. This is, for me, this is the top. I mean, like, in all honesty, go play this game. If I'm gonna give it a rating, I'm gonna give it a rating 9 out of 10. Like, must play. The only reason why it doesn't get a 10 out of 10 is because of that difficulty. It can turn people off. But at the same time, it's a fantastic game. You gotta play it. If you like Chrono Trigger, this will give you like a feel for it because of the whole time travel aspect. You know, if you like old school JRPGs, this is like as close as it gets to old school JRPGs. So guys, you know, like I said, pick it up. If you want to wait for the remake, they just announced the remake, so you know, it's like kind of like a ground up remake, modernizing the graphics, adding cutscenes, adding new character, adding more to the timeline, so like give it more in-depth story. So like I said, I mean, if you want to wait for that, you can. I don't know when it's coming out because it hasn't been released in Japan. So I don't even know if we are gonna get it. We probably will, because Atlas is very good at localizing stuff, which is something that I really give them mad props for. Because I mean, if they didn't start localizing the Persona games, then Shin Megami Tensei wouldn't have been as big, and we wouldn't have gotten Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey, Shin Megami Tensei 4, Apocalypse. So, you know, I give mad props to Atlas, and anytime I see an Atlas game that is an RPG, I jump on it right away because I want to play it. I want to see how different it is from other RPGs that they have, and I want to see how it holds up. And this game definitely holds up, guys. So do yourself a favor, go buy this game, go play it. It's worth the money. The gameplay, it's not a short game, so you get your money's worth, guys. Anyways, that's going to be it for my review today for video game reviews. Go ahead, do me a favor, hit that like button, and make sure you guys subscribe. If you're new here, hit that sub button. We're trying to get to 300 subs. Help me out here, because then I can do stuff like giveaways for games, hint, games or gift cards or whatever you want, you know, up to an amount. Like, we'll figure it out as we get closer to the 500 sub mark. So anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching this video today. You guys have a great day, and I will see you all in my next video. You guys take care.